Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. Both Tyler Perry and his companion Oprah Winfrey have been moving of late for some unacceptable reasons after reports arose that these two have a plan against people of color in Hollywood. Furthermore, Katt Williams has now entered the visit, revealing more insight into how Tyler Perry is pushing hazardous generalizations and embarrassing dark entertainers. We need to see this person be correct an adequate number of times that we go. Stand by a moment. He can't be insane and right. The charges in regards to Tyler Perry and Oprah's reputed plan against people of color have been developing of late, from 50 Penny's new remarks about Oprah pandering to white crowds to claims made by numerous rappers like Ludacris about Oprah embarrassing them on her show. In the meantime, an entertainer who was recruited to star in Tyler Perry's show as of late became a web sensation on TikTok in the wake of uncovering that Tyler compelled him to play a gay person. So in the center of Mr. Perry switching around the scenes, he says, I maintain that Jeffrey should be gay, and he has eyes for his. That is not the thing I tried out for. These allegations just start to expose what's underneath, as there's likewise been significant conversation about Tyler and Oprah's nearby connections to shadowy figures in Hollywood who use command over the business and additionally over notable big names. And keeping in mind that most celebs are too terrified to even consider standing up on this, there are a couple of uncommon ones, like Katt Williams, who never wondered whether or not to tell the truth to drive. So what precisely did Katt say regarding Tyler Perry? Does Perry truly have a plan to embarrass people of color? How about we get into it? I've recently decided not to. Enhance that. That's what I know. If I were to simply be somewhat more approachable with respect to what the entire circumstance was, everyone would be my ally. So, Tyler Perry has as of late begun moving after reports arose that he's been pushing a plan to weaken people of color in Hollywood and force them to play gay characters. Entertainer Brandon J. as of late became famous online after he posted a TikTok video uncovering Tyler Perry for attempting to compel him to play a gay person, despite the fact that this wasn't what Brandon initially pursued. So Brandon was projected in the sitcom Meet the Browns as Jeffrey, a young person in secondary school who's been harassed. Be that as it may, as per Brandon, when the opportunity arrived to shoot his scenes, Tyler unexpectedly chose to change the content and let him know his personality would now be gay and have eyes for his domineering jerk. So in the center of Mr. Perry switching around the scenes, he says, I maintain that Jeffrey should be gay and he has eyes for his. That is not the very thing I tried out for. And keeping in mind that Brandon at first consented to become familiar with his new lines, Tyler Perry changed the content once more. Furthermore, Brandon felt like he was screwing with him deliberately to see how far he could push him. While shooting Meet the Browns was the most distressing and hardest thing that I've ever finished in all my years, I had no clue that Tyler Perry Studios' plan was so radical. In the event that you're dealing with an ordinary organization show, they require an entire week to film an episode. Tyler Perry Studios. They recorded an episode in one day. Presently, this thought that Tyler Perry and Hollywood overall have an unusual plan where they attempt to depict people of color as one or the other female or forceful is the same old thing. Furthermore, Katt Williams and different entertainers and jokesters have openly stood up on this. One of them is Terrence Howard, who as of late griped about the supposed undermining of people of color in Hollywood, and said everything is hermaphroditic, The more effective men are currently the women. And afterward, in one more ongoing meeting with Revolt, Terrence guaranteed that Hollywood purposely depicts people of color as feminine in light of the fact that solid individuals of color are viewed as perilous. The man has been disparaged. Terrence said that with the new recipe, most men are made to be feminine and not have their power or feeling of solidarity. They permit white men to have the option of being solid. However, when it's individuals of color, it's viewed as a danger. I would rather not eliminate a couple of chromosomes to fit in somebody's story, Terrence added. So I feel they need to grow their accounts to permit men to be men while all the while valuing a lady's marvel. In the interim, there have likewise been a ton of reports about Hollywood studios pushing dark entertainers and humorists to wear dresses on screen. Perhaps the earliest one to discuss this was Dave Chappelle, who guaranteed he was once compelled to wear a dress while recording a film with Martin Lawrence. When I see that they put each person of color in the motion pictures in a dress sooner or later in their profession, I'll think, For what reason are these siblings going to wear a dress? This happened to me. I'm doing a film with Martin. Definitely, the film's going great. So I stroll into the trailer and I'm like, man, this should be some unacceptable trailer since there's a dress in here. Dave told the makers he would have rather not worn a dress since he was awkward. And, in addition, it looked bad for the scene. In any case, the chief then, at that point, came in, and they generally razzed Dave, attempting to persuade him to put on the dress. What? You feel awkward with it? Well, it's humorous. Chumped, every one of the greats has done it so well. Every one of the greats has made it happen. It's sort of hacky, isn't that so? You're correct. So why don't we simply not make it happen? Since I feel really awkward wearing a dress. Goodness, come on, Dave. Tune in, we've got everything set up. We should shoot them each. Consistently you squander. Cost this much cash. No, the strain comes in. The makers just surrendered once they understood Dave couldn't be persuaded. Furthermore, Dave said they were ready for this since they had one more variant of the content prepared. And that implies the entire thing wasn't exactly fundamental. What's more, they were simply attempting to check whether he would consent to it. The moment it was clear, I was resolved. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. Okay, fine. Consider something different that returns 10 minutes after the fact. The totally different scene, hot damn! How could you compose the scene so quickly? Presently, Kevin Hart was subsequently approached to remark on Dave's tale about the dress. Kevin just ignored it and said he really did nothing that could hurt his image. Most certainly I ran in to put it on the dress. That is to say, you must have limits. You must have limits that you will not cross. You've got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You want to safeguard your image consistently. In any case, a couple of years after the fact, Kevin showed up in SNL drama wearing a dress, and out of nowhere, his vocation exploded. The new Pope is a 9-year-old Oscar candidate. That very year, Kevin's SNL drama was broadcast. Katt Williams was advancing frightening film 5, so he as well was approached to make a comment in general dress contention. Furthermore, he said, this is something that has been happening in Hollywood for quite a long time. Furthermore, he referenced Tyler Perry's disputable person, Madea. Kevin doesn't need to stress over the things individuals will say regarding him wearing a dress in view of the long queue of dress-wearing individuals before him. So presently we have enormous Mama's Home 1, 2, and 3. I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So presently, I'm saying, for what reason would we say we are singling out unfortunate little Kevin Hart? Since it was his chance right away. A few of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own peril. And keeping in mind that many individuals excused this at the time as a paranoid idea, fans are currently saying it really seems okay since there are numerous instances of dark entertainers and jokesters who became wildly successful in the wake of wearing a dress on screen. Presently, with regards to Tyler Perry, he's been blamed by various people of note for having a plan against individuals of color. Charlemagne the God recently asserted that he quit watching Perry's films on the grounds that the vast majority of them show people of color in a very pessimistic light. I generally wind up getting annoyed at Tyler Perry films. Enticements, that is, a young lady was undermining Spear Gross, and she wound up getting beat up by the buddy and wound up getting help and whatnot. Furthermore, took part in that for hued young ladies. That is the African-American blood and gore flick, man. Allurements was an African-American thriller for hued young ladies. It was an African-American blood and gore flick. I think he had something to do with Valuable. That was an African-American blood and gore flick. I just don't have the foggiest idea, man. It's very much like Tyler Perry. He paints an extremely regrettable depiction of individuals of color. We ain't just awful. Perry's portrayal of dark female characters is likewise exceptionally questionable, and he's been blamed for propagating destructive generalizations about people of color. With unbelievable Chief Spike Lee once calling Tyler's films coonery nonsense, I actually think a ton of stuff that is on today is coonery horseplay. Furthermore, I know it's raking in boatloads of cash and breaking records, but we can improve. As of now, we're discussing Tyler Perry. Presently, Bits of hearsay about Tyler Perry being on the DL have likewise been coursing for a really long time. Furthermore, a few fans accept that Tyler doesn't have a plan to undermine individuals of color. And on second thought, they believe he's extending his stifled direction to other dark entertainers. One way or another, Katt Williams hasn't arrived. What's more, a video of Katt as of late reemerged in which he called Tyler a crossdresser. I'm saying I have no disdain in my heart for Tyler Perry since he's in any case. He is a crossdresser. How about we be extremely fair? A crossdresser is someone who works in drag. Do you have any idea who Maida is, sir? That is her in that dress. Graciously. Likewise, when Katt was as of late asked to remark on for what valid reason a few entertainers and comics make it in Hollywood notwithstanding their absence of ability, Katt said, "You're fundamentally given a decision and assuming that you will not sell out and do things like wear cosmetics and dresses, then you're never going to arrive at that next degree of distinction.